Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay, and these are going to be general messages for the month of May for the sign of Sagittarius. Hello, 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 Sagittarius. How are you doing? Hope you guys are doing well. I hope everything is going great in your lives. Just want to say quickly before we get started, thank you guys so much for coming to view this channel, viewing this video. I am still a very new tarot reader here on YouTube, so I appreciate you coming to spend time with me here. Please go ahead and like, share, comment on the video if you find that the messages that you receive here today resonate with you. I'd love any kind of feedback that you have, positive or negative, regarding the reading. As I'm getting started, I'd just like to figure things out and, be able to plot a course forward for what I'm going to produce here for this channel. And if you don't like all the talking and the babbling and the shuffling, go ahead and check the description box below, and you're going to find a timestamp down there that will take you to when I actually start the reading once your cards are laid out. And you'll also find information down there. If you're interested in getting a private reading with me, you can find out information on how to do so and setting that up down below as well. Sagittarius, as you may or may not know, I've gone ahead and previously meditated with these cards off camera with your energy. I'll go ahead and get reestablished now. And for those of you who are brand new, who haven't seen me before, what I do is a 6-card spread. 1 card is the outcome, and the bottom of the deck will act as the overall energy. And once I lay all the cards, that is when I will begin the reading. Let's go ahead and get reconnected with Sagittarius for May 2018. And once again, I hope everything's going well for you guys. Spillage. A little bit of a spillage there. Excuse me. Sagittarius, May 2018. Also, if you're new, you'll hear the opera music in the background. That's for me. I like to have that playing when I do these general readings. If I was doing a personal reading, I wouldn't. But for the generals, this is what I like. There you are. Okay. Yes? No? No. Okay. Sorry. Premature. A little premature there. Yes, there it is. Okay. Sagittarius, let's go. There we go. Just a second. Flew down here. Okay. Nice and easy, Sag. Very like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 kind of feeling while I was doing that. Not much stuck energy or anything like that. Let's go ahead and get your outcome card. Now there's stuck energy. Okay, you got a flip over there in the middle. Ooh, nice, okay. And the bottom of the deck is going to be your overall energy for the month of May, Sagittarius. Bedow. Okay, let's see. Gonna flip these other 2 cards to see what we're working with here. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Containable. That's not a word. Contained. Or the feeling I get is workable. Whatever you may have felt when you see these cards as they come out, whatever you feel, it's contained energy. It's workable energy. So if this, for some of you, if this made you feel a little trepidatious or anxious or something, I feel like whatever this is workable, malleable. But let's see what's going on with you, Sag. Alright, Sagittarius. Where's Sagittarius, please? In the month of May 2018, where's Sagittarius? Middle. In the middle. Okay. Okay. So I'm getting that you're in the middle in these two cards. Let's see if you're in any particular one versus the other. Both-ish. Both-ish. Okay. Yeah, you're in both. But what I feel is that you've spent an extensive time, Sagittarius, as the Four of Swords in reverse. So we're going to start there. So you guys have been here. Four of Swords reverse. Upright talks about rest, repose, reflection, right? When it's in this when it's in this reverse position for you, Sagittarius, I feel as though you have been doing that. It's going to go either way for you guys. It's either you've gone and you've done that rest, reflection, and repose, and you've done it to death. You've been doing it extensively. Or for others of you, you haven't done it enough. That's why it's in reverse. So for some of you, what's going on is that you've been sort of resting on your laurels, so to speak. You've kind of been sitting on your hands. You've been idle. You've been sort of watching the paint dry in your own life, in whatever area this might apply for you. And you probably shouldn't have done that. Or you need to stop doing that, or you should start to slowly get out of that energy. And others of you, you haven't done that at all. You've been sort of go, 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 or ignore, ignore, ignore is more of how it's coming across. Deflect, deflect, deflect. Like very melancholy. Both, in either side, it feels very melancholy, whether you've actually been watching the paint dry on the walls, or you've been sitting on your hands. That's a melancholy feeling. Or if you've been putting on a brave face, kind of going out and not really resting, not really reflecting, not really taking time to get in touch with yourself. If you've been doing that, it's also been because of this melancholy feeling. So for whichever Sagittarius you are, with whatever behavior you've been exuding lately, you need to kind of stop it. Or not that you need to stop it. It's more of like, it's kind of coming to like this breaking point with you. It's coming towards this turning point with you, Sagittarius, where not necessarily that I feel there's some interjection or some relationship or anything external to you that's going to shake you out of that. What I'm sensing is that this is swords, right? Four of Swords is your own mental capacity. So you yourself are coming to this realization. You've been sitting on your hands for too long. You've been idle for too long. Or you've been so active and consciously trying to ignore the things that you need to reflect on, that you need to take your time and think about. You've been ignoring it for so long that you're also coming to that realization as well. So either way, Sagittarius, you know something needs to change within you, because this is about internal reflection. This is about taking time to yourself and really getting down to the nitty gritty, right? So whichever Sagittarius you are, the one that's out there ignoring their problems, doing other things to take up your time, than actually sitting by yourself and thinking about yourself and thinking about your life and thinking about how you feel about things, or what you're thinking about things. And for others of you who are doing that, no matter which side you fall on, you know, like, that action has to come to an end soon. It's not getting you anywhere. It's not getting you what you want. It's not getting you any further. It's not giving you progress. It's not enlightening you. It's not doing anything. It's not moving the chains in any direction. You've been stuck. Stuck. And that is showing also where you're kind of secondary. And I think this is more, if anything, this might be what you're realizing. Or this might be what is the catalyst that makes you realize this is getting you nowhere. This might be the catalyst, the Three of Wands in reverse. Three of Wands upright talks about not new endeavors, but anticipation of newness, anticipation of a beginning, right? Anticipation of the next chapter or the next side journey, so to speak. And it also talks about getting what's coming to you, like you've sent out good vibes, so to speak, and then you expect to get good vibes back, and when it's in the upright or when other readers talk about it, it's like your ships are coming in, right? But this is in reverse, so that's not happening, and you realize it. So whatever progress you've been wanting or dreaming about or hoping for, or even like that has been just like a speck of a dream or a speck of a thought in your mind, Sagittarius, you realize there's no progress towards that. You realize that that ship is not coming in for you. It's left the harbor and it won't be returning to you, or it's still docked. It's still tied up on the pier and it hasn't even left. So there's this static thing going on with you right now, Sagittarius, in these two center cards as you come into May, where nothing is really coming or going. Nothing is really here or there. Nothing is really left or right. It's all kind of in this weird middle ground. And I think it's mostly with you. You might be very apathetic right now. You might be very blah and beige as far as your own personal outlook on your own life, your own mood, how you feel you're progressing in terms of business, in terms of work, in terms of relationships, whatever. You just are, this is stagnant water, stagnant, not moving, no progress, no up or down. And I think it's because I think it's apt that these two fell in the middle, and I was led to talk about the two middle because I feel that you're on both sides. Like you're being pressurized, like something is coming in, things are coming in at you from all sides. So that could be it. That there's so much going on external to you, Sagittarius, that there are circumstances that you find yourself in or people that you find yourself surrounded by where you feel kind of muted. You feel kind of unable to speak, unable to move, unable to even participate or share an opinion, whatever it is. And so that kind of leaves you feeling stuck because everybody else around you, or there's a circumstance greater than you that you're involved in that requires or is so much more demanding, so much more outspoken, so to speak. So what's going on around you, Sagittarius? Because that's what this is about. Internally, you're just kind of sitting there and observing things. Either within yourself, you're observing your own energy and how it is stagnant, and then externally you're observing how other people are not so stagnant, or you're just sitting there watching other people do their thing and you're just like a spectator. It's very interesting, which is not your energy most of the time, Sag. Oh boy. So what's going on external to you? I think you, or someone that you know, someone that's close to you, you've got maybe one or two people, or I should say at least one, but it could be more than one person who's been embattled in something, been suffering through something, been having arguments, having fights, or having disagreements. Not necessarily arguments or fights, but just having strong disagreements, right? And there's some sense of being betrayed. There's some sense of being left for dead, so to speak, okay? You could have been involved in this. I think it can go either way. Some of you are involved in this disagreement and this feeling of being left behind. Others of you, you're watching this happen. Where are we going next with either of these? We're going to talk about which one first. Which one? We'll talk about the Ten of Wands. Ten of Swords first, okay? So Ten of Swords. So someone around you, or this is you, it could be some of you. You feel betrayed. You feel stabbed in the back. You feel left for dead. Something or someone has really just been a turncoat to you. I think you had an issue with someone, or someone external to you has an issue involving loyalty. Loyalty is coming up. This idea of loyalty, of being honest, of being true blue, and reliable. And someone proved to be none of those things. Could have been you, could have been someone else, whatever. But because that expectation of loyalty was not fulfilled, wasn't enacted, wasn't taken across the finish line, so to speak, somebody has been stabbed in the back and disappointed and suffered a lot because of this. Someone feels as if whatever they've invested in terms of beliefs, whatever someone believed to be true and it turned out to not be true, it's just been a whammy, just been a huge hit to their sensibilities. And I think it's because someone was fighting. And again, not necessarily fighting like shouting match or like a physical fight, but there's just been this impasse between at least two people, but there are three people on the Five of Swords, right? You've got the guy in the foreground and the two guys walking away, and the guy in the foreground, he's got all five swords, essentially. He has access to all five swords, even though three are only in his hand. And this is the card of like a shallow victories, right? Shallow victories, right? Where someone feels as though they've come out on top, but they really haven't. Or that perspective is really skewed and not actually balanced, not actually rooted in anything that it's not rooted in the reality or the objective reality of the situation. Subjectively, a person might feel really victorious because they've got all five swords at their disposal, and two people have walked away, but because those people have walked away, whether they were defeated or whether they gave up, whatever it is, you're still by yourself with five swords, and that's a lot, you know? For one person to carry five swords is a lot. And so someone has convinced themselves that they're the victor here, that they won the argument, that they won the bet, that they won in this relationship. They've defeated, and that's a weird, okay. If this is dealing with a relationship, you don't have any cups here. Well, you have some over here, but in your main spread, you don't have any cups. So I'm not sure that it's about a relationship, but the idea that someone feels that they won in a relationship, that they beat the other person, that they defeated the other person, that they succeeded over the other person in a relationship, that's a really warped thing, and I was drawn to make a big deal out of this. If this is you, Sagittarius, or your partner, or you're watching someone else's relationship, a relationship that is significant to you, maybe your parents, maybe you are close with your brother and his marriage is on the rocks or something like that. But whatever this relationship is, where someone feels as though they won the argument and the other person is defeated, like they basically whipped the other person into submission because of whatever altercation was happening, that's a warped, terrible position to be in, and nobody likes that. Or rather, nobody should feel victorious with that. Like, that's, like I said, hollow victory. Like, hollow victory, excuse me. Hollow victory. I can't speak today. Yeah, it's just, someone's very defeated here, and one of these two people who are walking away in the background of that Five of Swords is definitely this person here in the Ten of Swords. And I feel like it's very strange. I mean, because this is a general reading, and so it can't be guided towards one specific person. So for some of you, this is you, Sagittarius. You have been betrayed or stabbed in the back, left for dead. And you were the person who was whipped into defeat. That you were basically beaten down verbally or beaten down intellectually and beaten to submission. For some of you. But what I'm feeling very strongly is that this is not your situation, Sagittarius. It informs your life. It affects your life. You're watching it happen. But it doesn't really involve you directly. You're very indirectly involved in this over here, Sagittarius. And this is just one side of the situation. You have pressure, or you have another situation that is affecting you, that has some kind of indirect influence on you, or something that you're indirectly involved in. And over here, you've got sort of two people at odds is what I feel. And you've got people at odds here. And this is more convoluted on this side. I feel like it's at least two people, but it could be upwards of like 5 or 6 people. Or it could be a group is what I'm saying. It could just be two people having a disagreement here, having an argument here, or it could be a group of people. And someone is being left for dead. Someone's being thrown under the bus. Somebody's taking all of those swords into their back, and someone else is the driving force that's like sticking each individual sword into that person. Very volatile. Over here, it's not volatile in an aggressive way, if at all, but it's very similar. Over here, you have someone as the Nine of Wands reversed, Sagittarius. Which, in reverse, we would think that the Nine of Wands would be getting over a stress, over a burden, over feeling like the wounded warrior. Because upright, that's what this guy is. You know, he's got that bandage on his head. He's been through some stuff. He's seen some stuff. And he's tired. He's worn out. And the Nine of Wands, I feel, is someone less than, like, they're not experiencing that at that same capacity, at that same energy, or at that same strength, so to speak. Are they is this released? Is this over? For some. Okay, that doesn't really help me. Is this released? Is this over for some? Okay. I think it's two things. All right, that's how this would be. Okay, for two things. So for some of you, different from this situation here on the left side, right? So let's pin that situation. In a separate situation, in a separate relationship, in a separate dynamic, whatever it is, you have someone who is or is in the process of releasing this Nine of Wands burden, this Nine of Wands fatigued energy. They're wanting to get away from feeling so worn out and beat down by the world, or beat down by circumstances, or, you know, put upon and stressed out by a partner, that they're in the process of relieving themselves of this energy. For others, they're still stuck in it, okay? For others, they're still stuck in it. Or they don't see a way out, you know? They don't know that they can sort of walk away and all of that. Because when it's up, the Nine of Wands speaks to a person who they can give up if they want relief from their situation, if they don't want to be burdened anymore, if they don't want to feel the stress and the anxiety and the frustration that they feel anymore, they can just give up. Or they can turn their energies and their efforts towards something else, and they'll be relieved. But at the same time, they don't want to, or that they're stubbornly going to stick with what they're doing because they believe in it, right? They feel that if they still fight to the very last moment, they will succeed. And so some people are in that energy. That's why it's reversed. Some people are still in that energy that even though this situation looks grim, looks dire, looks like you can't win, there's no way out, other people are like, you got to let this go. This person, not you, Sagittarius, I really don't feel you're in here. You could be, but I don't feel you. I feel you're here, just watching stuff happen. So whoever this is, Sagittarius, you're watching someone. You might be You might be the person telling the Nine of Wands in reverse. You might be telling this person who's around you, "Hey, give up on that. Let that go. You should not be stressing yourself out. You shouldn't be putting yourself through all of this self-abuse, or you shouldn't be taking on all of this pressure, all of this burden." And this person's like, "I know, but I've got to because I agreed," or "It's almost over," or "I think if I wait a little longer, things will get better." So you might be advising this person to let it go, and they're like, "Nah, I can't do that." For others, they are in the process of letting it go. They're heeding your advice or the advice of someone else, or they're finally coming to some realization that things aren't going to go in their favor, so they will be slowly releasing it. Regardless of who that is, they're dealing with someone who is the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles traditionally talks about singlehood, being abundant, being just, glammed up and feeling fine, feeling fabulous, and enjoying singlehood, enjoying independence. I would agree with that. I would agree that this person, whoever it is, Sagittarius, and I don't feel that it's you. Again, you're just observing this. This is very strange. You are observing someone not giving an F about this person down here in the Nine of Wands reversed. They know what has transpired between them and this person who's the Nine of Wands reversed, and they don't care. They are kind of dismissive. They have moved on already. This could be a situation where you're watching someone pine over their ex. "Oh, I want them back," or "I think there's still a chance for us," or Oh, do you think that so-and-so misses me? So-and-so doesn't miss them. You know this, Sagittarius. You can see both sides of this happening. And you know that the person that Nine of Wands in reverse is thinking about is not thinking about them. This person is off living their life, feeling great, feeling abundant, feeling amazing and established. And this person is just beating themselves up, wishing they could have that person back in their lives or have that connection in their lives. And there's like a disconnect between a lot of this. There's like disconnects, there's reflections, and maybe that's what this is, Sagittarius. Maybe it's you're trying to find, potentially, some route forward in your life as the Three of Wands. You've lost your way, and you're trying to find your way. You're trying to be inspired, or the inspiration has been gone from your life recently, right? And you've been reflecting on that, or you've been ignoring it, whichever situation you're in, right? And then when you look at the world around you, the people around you more specifically, and in their specific circumstances, work, family relationships, love relationships, friend relationships, whatever it is, however they're interacting in their lives, you're seeing a lot of strife. You're seeing a lot of arguments. You're seeing a lot of betrayal. You're seeing a lot of backstabbing, a lot of hurt, a lot of feeling as if there's nothing left to give, or people who might be still feeling hurt even though maybe, because the Ten of Swords also talks about ultimately a culmination. The Ten of Wands, that's the precipice. The pain, the deep pain is over, but some people might be wallowing in that pain. Some people might be just stewing in this loss that they've experienced or this betrayal that they've experienced. Other people are gloating and feeling proud of defeating other people. Someone is being sort of foolish and loyal to a fault and to their own detriment, and someone else is just like over it. Like, they're like, I'm not thinking about this person. I'm thinking about me. They're being not selfish, but self-focused. And so you're looking at all of this, Sag, and I think you're trying to parse out what the hell is my role in all of these situations. Very external, very indirect in a lot of these situations. And therefore, maybe that's it. Maybe because you're watching all these situations, and to certain extents, even though you're indirectly involved and the impact on you I don't feel is significant, but other people might be asking your advice or giving you details that you don't ask for, but you're just listening and you're hearing about these failed relationships, you're hearing about these backstabbing situations and these arguments, and that leaves you despondent. Sagittarius, you're a sign that loves inspiration. You love to feel invigorated by life. You love to feel as if life has no bounds. Life has nothing but opportunities, plenty of doors through which that you can walk and have a new adventure, have a new experience in life. But this feels like a container or contained or whatever I said at the beginning. This feels like you're being... your scope has been limited by other people's experiences and their relationships. And you feel bogged down by other people's energy. Oh. And again, I don't really... You can be, simply because of statistics, some of you can be the one who's been backstabbed. You can be the person who's being loyal to a fault. You can be the person who feels victorious even though it's a hollow victory. You can be the person that is so bountiful and feeling fabulous all by yourself. You can be in any of those four cards on either side here, Sag. But I feel it's mostly not you. I feel you're mostly just watching, which is strange. And I think I talked to you about that. Maybe was it in your April reading or one of your love readings, where you've been kind of in this watching life go by mode? A lot of you kind of like going through the motions, and I show up to work, I go hang out with my friends, I go to school, I go to, you're doing what you're supposed to do pragmatically. You're not becoming a bum on the street or anything like that. You're not becoming a degenerate of society or anything like that. You're not becoming so slothful or lazy or uninvolved, but there's something deep inside. I think that's what this is talking about. Deep inside, Sag, where you feel disconnected with who you are and what you want and where you're going. Your path in life is unclear, and you might be looking to others or just generally observing those around you, looking for inspiration, and you're not finding any. You're finding people involved in miserable situations. You're finding people involved in petty arguments, petty disputes. You're finding people who can't see when they're victimizing themselves. You see people who don't care about another person's feelings, who are stuck on themselves. And so none of that jives with you. To go back to 1974, none of that jives with you, my man, you know? And, oh, man, that's very unlike you. At least in my experience with several Sagittarius. Well, okay, here's the thing. I won't say it's unlike you. What I say is it's precipice. I use that word, right? But I used it here, but I'm going to use it again. Sagittarius, this usually signals a big burst that's about to hit you. And I'm not seeing it here. It didn't come out in the cards. But in my experience with Sagittarius, personal anecdotes here, when a Sagittarius becomes despondent like this, becomes kind of, like I said, watching the paint dry in their life, feeling lackluster within themselves, that means things are about to rev up. You're about to get back into the chop shop, into the mechanic shop, and you're going to put a new engine in your car, a new, faster, more powerful engine. And you're going to, you're going to work on your car, you're going to work on yourself so that you can change your trajectory, so that you can change your outlook, your perspective, your energy. You will do that. Just right now, you're just watching other people go through their crap and you don't like it. Now, interestingly, as your outcome for May, Sagittarius, you have the 9 of Cups. 3 9s and a 10. We're talking about completions here. We're talking about, like I said, things building up to a point, hitting a precipice, so that there's sort of like a reset button. So maybe that's what's coming in your outcome in May. Towards the end of May, going into June, maybe even later in the year. Time is very malleable with tarot, but whatever. I think this is where you want to be. I think you want to have dreams, you want to have wishes come true. And you kind of, like, I think sometimes this guy is considered smug, right? I don't think you want to be smug, but you want to be in the position of knowing that you have all these dreams and wishes, all these cups full of dreams and wishes and hopes and desires, right? And you want to be able to fill those cups, to drink from them, to polish them and put them in your display case. You want to have options. You want to have, like I said, your perspective in life, usually, Sagittarius, is one of so many doors, which one do I go through? Like, you're one of the signs where if you're on that show, what's that show? Make a Deal, right? Door number 1, door number 2, door number 3. You're like, okay, there's only 3 doors. You're like, where are like the dozens more doors? Like, you usually marvel and get elated by choices, get elated by opportunities, okay? And I think that's what this is. You want to get back to this feeling of this 9 of Cups, which is not only am I in the process of fulfilling some of my dreams, some of my wishes, having many of my hopes and desires fulfilled, you want even more. This is where you're hoping to go. But I think that you're being contained. You're being contained in some kind of way. These people, whether they're intending to or not, whether you're allowing them or passively allowing them to or not, you're a little blocked right now. And I think that feeds into the overall energy for May of the month, which is the 4 of Cups. So that's you. You're sitting there, either reflecting or ignoring the process of reflection. And you've got cups in front of you. You have certain things in front of you, and you're like, okay. Because you want those 9 cups. You don't want 3 measly cups. You want 9. And then a 4th cup comes. And traditionally, this talks about being despondent. Being like, I don't want that 4th cup anyway. And maybe you don't. Maybe you don't want what's being offered to you or an opportunity that comes. Maybe one of those doors you definitely don't want to walk through. You definitely don't want to know what's behind curtain number 12. Okay? For some of you. But what I think this is like... action? Okay. Action. Yeah, okay. It could be, Sag, that you've been in this 4 of Swords thing for a while. The 4 of Swords and the 3 of Wands reversed. You've been in that for a while. That in order to get this 4th cup, which is good, it's a good cup. It's not terrible. It's not going to trick you. It's going to be a good cup for you. In order to get it, to actually take that little extended celestial arm of the angels or gods or however you like to believe in it, or just cloud, however you want to think about it. In order to get this cup and add it to your collection so that you can build towards the 9 of cups, you have to get up off your butt and get it. You gotta get it. Right? You can't really receive it if your arms are crossed and you're sitting cross-legged under a tree. So, you're stuck, stagnant, stifled, whatever, and there's opportunities going to come to you, or within this month, there's this general feeling of you can have more. You can start to build towards that 9 cups, adding to the 3 that you already have. You can start to accumulate, but you have to act. And you're not acting. You're sitting there, under the tree. Acting kind of spoiled, maybe. But that's understandable. If you're feeling melancholy, if you're feeling so whatever about things, if you're feeling like, neither here nor there about things, like I think I said that in the beginning, nothing is left or right, up or down, nothing's really moving for you. If that's how you're feeling, then yeah, you're probably going to remain seated there. You're probably not going to move. If you're watching this video, and maybe it correlates with some of the things you've been thinking about, some of the advice that you've gotten, some of the insights that you've gotten through dreams or meditations, if you're into that sort of thing, whatever. If this is correlating and you're feeling like maybe I should start to move, take the advice and start to move. Get up off your butt and reach out and grab these opportunities that come to you, especially when you've been watching other people around you go through life in a miserable fashion. Miserable. Except for this person. This person is not really miserable. They're just being kind of douchey. Like, this person's a douchebag in some ways. Sorry, but they are. And you've been kind of just like, not motivated. You're not motivated. You might be lacking energy. You have a lot of swords, so you've definitely been in your thoughts a lot. Your wands are reversed, so within your own power of wands associated with fire elements, fire signs, that's reversed. You're not really action oriented right now. You might have low energy right now. You might be, coming off of being ill, coming out of a depression, whatever, and the only upright within your main is someone else's. They're flush with cash. They're feeling abundant. They're happy and single. Someone else. And you see them. I don't think they're necessarily inspiring to you. I don't think that they're necessarily uplifting you in any kind of way. Ugh. In this 3 of Cups here, that's behind the 4 of Cups. There might even be celebrations going on. Month of May, Memorial Day, right? Some of you might be hanging out with friends, family, drinking and stuff. And that's for those of you who are probably like ignoring all of this. Ignoring that you're in this stagnant energy. Ignoring that you need to dig deep and figure out what you're going to do next if you want to get this 9 of Cups. Some of you are just like, let's just have fun. Let's go get some beers. Let's play beer pong. It's fun. Let's have some hot dogs and some beers. And you're just kind of like not here for it. You're not here for the heavy lifting in your life right now, Sagittarius. Oh boy. Which is fine. like I said, as a personal anecdote, as someone who has had close relationships with Sagittariuses throughout my life, this is what I've noticed. It's just like you do get in these moods where things are just like nothing can bring you joy. You're very melancholy. You're very beige. Like I said, you're very neutral about everything. Neither here nor there. You're not happy. You're not angry. You're just neutral. And that usually is a precursor it's a precursor of you turning on your engines again, turning your engines over, revving up, and shooting out of the garage, shooting out of the gate towards your next adventure. I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't see it indicated here, but what I see in the month of May, thereabouts, a little bit before in April, maybe even bleeding a little bit into June, is that you can't be fussed either way. To get out of that, I think you need to figure out what your Nine of Cups would be. What's going to be your collection of dreams, of hopes, of desires. What are those 9 cups going to be? What are they filled with? What do they look like? What are they shaped like? What are they made of? That might help you. Watching these other people around you, this observation that you've been doing is not helping you. If it is helping you, maybe it's showing you everything you don't want. Maybe it's showing you the types of relationships or circumstances you don't want to find yourself in. And there might be some silver lining there. I don't want to be like Tom, being smug and thinking that he won everything even though he lost his relationship with his kids. I don't want to be like Deborah, feeling abandoned, feeling alone, feeling betrayed. I don't want to be like Michael, who's stuck still pining after Janet. You don't want to be any of these people. So maybe there's an upswing in that. Maybe there's a silver lining in that. All these people around me in different situations, family, love, work, whatever. However this shakes out for you, Sagittarius, you're able to see through other people's circumstances everything you don't want. So through the process of elimination, maybe you'll come to this 9 of Cups phase. But I think it really does involve you getting up off of your butt and doing something, or interacting with, or taking up someone, or taking someone up on an opportunity or a chance. Like maybe someone invites you somewhere, maybe someone has a job for you, maybe somebody has a travel opportunity for you, maybe someone makes a love offer to you, or not even a love offer, but maybe someone like flirts with you and you haven't been flirted with in a while, and so maybe you flirt back, and maybe it's not going to go anywhere, but that just might be enough to get the energy shifted for you, Sagittarius, okay? Alright. This is going to be your message, or this has been your message for May 2018. I hope it resonated. If it did, go ahead and leave a comment below. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit the like button. If you're not subscribed and you want to be, or you think you might want to be, or, maybe you know someone who wants to be, I don't know. Subscribe is the bottom line, if you choose to. You also feel free to share the video if you feel compelled to do that as well. I look forward to coming back and doing your June messages in about 4 weeks' time, Sagittarius. And I hope May goes well for you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.